welcome back to the Vintage Oaks. And if I can find a forwards gear, and I should probably check actually that this tractor has enough power to run this baler before we head off. Yeah, a real farmer would know this stuff, but you know, I'm not. So yeah, looks like we're good. The plan is to head down to Brands Hatch Field. That's apparently what it's called, if you know the man who created the map. So that's the very first field that we harvested. We are going to be baling the straw that we harvested off of there. So seems like a good idea to me. What crops in that field? Potatoes. No, we're not having any of that in a field that big. So it actually meant to skip ahead for the day. We're not going to do that. I'm not sure how long this video is going to be. It depends how long it takes me to do this job, to be honest. So this video is another one that's being recorded whilst I'm on my holidays. An in-joke in the disturbed household that probably means nothing to most people. Unless you watched a particular episode of a particular TV show. So yeah, probably means nothing to most people watching. I'm just trying to think about the jobs that we have left to do. So we've got a couple of fields. Actually, let's just stop the tractor and do a bit of a stock check. Oats. Yeah, so we've got the 2 oat fields to harvest. We've got a field of potatoes and a field of sunflowers. Yep. So that we're going to need to harvest at some point. Does the grass field need liming? No. Doesn't need ploughing either. So the big field needs liming. Brands Hatch needs liming and ploughing. 176 needs liming. So I think we need to be looking at doing a heck of a lot of liming. I want to get this field cleared of straw so I can get Courseplay working on doing some ploughing. Because that's going to take a while. And then we can get back in the combine to finish the harvesting off. That was my thought. Yep, that's the plan there. And yeah, I thought it'd be interesting to actually maybe do this myself. This is a big old field. So we'll see. We might enlist Courseplay for some bits of this. I need to unfold that. And then off we go. So, I don't know if I can say actually. So I'm not going to. That's really helpful, isn't it? I know. So I have to remember that I'm on the testing channel, the Oaks, the Vintage Oaks. So not everything that I see I can say. It's not like catchphrase where if you see it, say it. If I see it, I can't necessarily say it. So yes, and that's obviously pretty relevant for playing in or on a map set in the 80s. All those great TV shows that we did. I mean, was Catchphrase the 80s or the 90s? All those great TV shows that we just... Were they great TV shows? All those TV shows that we just don't have anymore. And you know, Catchphrase, Dusty Bin, Bullseye. These will obviously mean nothing to our international audience, but if you're from the UK... Or if you ever watch BBC or I guess reruns on some of the satellite cable TV providers. Yeah. Quality weekend TV in the UK for the era. With your bag of salt and shake crisps. And your curly whirly. And your bottle of fizzy pop. What size bales are we making? We probably want to be making bigger bales than that. We probably want to make as bigger bales as we can. Not sure why we weren't making as bigger bales as we can, to be honest. Yeah. So we got the gigantic field combined. The next step with that field is to get it lined. I'm not sure of the best way to tackle that. We obviously need to lease a large lime spreader. Maybe, I don't know if the silo is a bulk silo. Maybe we get a load of lime delivered to the farm into the silo so that just fill it from there. That might be a good idea. If not, loads of bags of lime. Okay. Okay, that's because someone was dumb. There we go. Yeah, maybe loads of bags of lime on the lorry. That might work. We've got the low loader, so yeah, so we need to get that lined and then drilled. Now, so we've got these seeders, which are direct drills. And in real life, they are direct drills. So we could just drill the grass straight in. Not sure how sensible that is. We've got a decent sized cultivator, so we could run the cultivator over it. Maybe first. I don't know, maybe we get a mulch it first. Interested in your thoughts? Should we just, we've got a direct drill, do we just direct drill into it? We need to tip those off the back. That was a bit aggressive, but anyway. Yeah, interested in people's thoughts on how we should handle that. It's a big field. It will probably be being course-played to get it done. And the intent is to place down using expandable pastures, a whole bunch of the small expandable pastures, probably maybe 3, something like that, and we'll kind of rotate the cows through so that they'll eat one, we'll move them, that one will regrow, and you don't necessarily need to do that. The grass will grow and they'll eat it, but I kind of want to do that for a little bit of, basically so I have something to do with the cows through the grazing period. Otherwise, we'll just stick them in for the months that there's grazing and we won't have to do anything. I will probably tweak those so that the water is automatic. So we pay for the water to be plumbed in, essentially. And I will also make sure that they have, I think they have milk triggers, but I'll make sure that they do. What we won't get out of them is any manure or slurry during that period, but that's fine. I'm not worried about that. Basically, the idea is that it was going to make feeding a really large herd of cows for Maize Plus easy. And by pretty large, I mean probably about 100 head. Now, if you're not used to playing with Maize Plus, you're probably thinking that's not very big, but they're going to be eating in a month 400,000 litres of feed once they are mature. And that's quite a lot. So, yeah. So that's the plan. And we'll be aiming to get those in spring, because at the moment we don't have any feed for them. So the aim will be that we get them when we can put them out to graze. And that way we'll spend the first year with them grazing and producing their feed for them. And then by the time we bring them in, we'll have produced a whole load of food. Make sense? I think so. I think so. So, yeah, I think I'm going to get a bit of work done and I'll be back. So on the last of the headlands, and then it's just infinite up-down rows. Speaking of infinite, I've been watching some of the Marvel movies lately. See what I did there? Infinity War, Marvel. And I'm finding that you may have experienced this, you may not. I'll be scrolling through Disney Plus that appears to have all of the Marvel movies, and I'll look at one and I'll go, that'd be really cool to watch. Don't think I've seen that. And I'll load it up and I'll get about 5 minutes and I'll go, yep, seen this one. I'll still watch them because, I find comfort in watching things I've already watched. I have watched many films many times over. But yeah, been enjoying that. Watched Black Widow last night. Did I watch all of? No, I didn't watch it. I started watching Age of Ultron a few days ago. I'm just going to spin around and dump these on the headland a bit further away from the up-down rows. So let's do that. Yeah, I started watching Age of Ultron and then fell asleep. Well, went to bed rather than falling asleep. Watched Infinity War. That's right, the Infinity thing came up. But yeah, been watching a few more films recently, having yet to find a replacement TV series, having finished watching Dexter. Yeah, I have been reading the news articles about the two new Dexter series. Definitely not series. So there's the prequel and the sequel, so I was a bit anti the sequel because of events that happen in New Blood, which I'm not going to say just in case you're interested and haven't watched it. But having read the description, I'm less anti. So, yep. More Dexter, more better. So, yeah. We'll see. But yes, I've been watching. What's the other film that I watched that wasn't Marvel? I don't remember. But so Mrs. D and I went to watch Deadpool 3, Deadpool Wolverine today, and trailers. So there were trailers for two films in particular, which one film in particular I am definitely excited for. Aliens, Romulus, is it? The new Alien film, because I love the Alien franchise. And the trailer looked really cool. And I heard good things about it from an Adam Savage video, so yeah. The other one, which when I didn't know they'd made this film. When I saw the trailer starting, I got super excited. But I have my doubts, and if you know me, you will know why. I saw the trailer for The Crow. Now, I have seen the original of The Crow more times than I can count. I have not seen the Crow 2 because I only liked The Crow. I love that film. I have seen it so many times. I love the soundtrack. And the idea of a remake of the film is either going to be absolutely amazing or I'm going to hate it. It's like, actually it was when I was doing a stream on here and I was talking about the new Roadhouse film, which I refuse to watch because it's not based on the original. I'm either going to love the Crow remake or I'm going to hate it. But when I saw the trailer, I got a tad excited. And then they followed it with the trailers to the new Aliens film, and that just like, yeah. And then we watched Deadpool 3, and that film I've spoken about that in the Glenn Lawton video. That was just so good. We both were laughing out loud. Yeah. So we might be going to the cinema again soon. We don't go to the cinema very often, but yeah, I was very excited. Mrs. D was excited for Wicked. She's been to see the musical version, and so yep. And because we went, as I did speak about this in the Glenn Lawton video, apologies for the yawn if that was picked up. I'm quite tired. Yeah, we went to the very first showing, so it was like 9:40 in the morning, and we had the cinema to ourselves. It was awesome. When we went in, there weren't no other customers at all, and we had the screen to ourselves. It was great. That makes going to the cinema way more tolerable. And, you know, because it was a daytime screening, it was only £5 a ticket. Yeah, I'll take that for a private screening. Let's get those tipped. I'm curious, how many bales have we made so far? Feels like a lot. 23. Big bales, the 8,500 litre bales as well. So I believe, I spoke about in the Maize Plus Pig Farmer video, and Mr. Smock Farmer being mentioned. That was a Glenn Lawton video, but I recorded it a little while ago. I recorded the commentary of. I believe I saw some Heston bales in real life the other day. They are huge. The height of them is ridiculous. And it kind of makes me appreciate why I was struggling to pick two of them up when I was loading them. Still haven't unloaded those bales, but you know, we'll get there. I'm gonna push the clock on to force myself to get to the next game day, because otherwise we're going to be stuck in August for an eternity, and I'm not a fan of that. This will be video number 4, and the idea is to do 4 days per month, so that kind of feels right. So I do have the game set on 4-day months, and the plan is that we will be playing on times 10 at once the month ticks over. So yeah, we're going to get a lot of bales off of here, and not sure how much straw we're actually going to get through with only having the cows in the shed for a small fraction of the year. I think this will be the first time that I've gone so heavily on the grazing for cows. So it's going to be cool. It'll be interesting. See how we get on. Anyway, I am going to keep plodding through the baling and we'll be back in a bit. It's the next day in real life and in game, and it's time to start being a little bit more efficient. So I baled the headlands myself, and I've had Courseplay running the first half of the Courseplay course. So it did the left half of the up-down rows. I'm now going to set it going on the right half. So to do that, the first thing I did was go into the Courseplay courses menu and load the course. So to do that, you just select load course and do load course, and then we click on right, and then I'm in about the right place, nearest waypoint, and go. What I have noticed is that this baler or Courseplay will not unload the sled or the bale accumulator, so I gonna have to keep an eye on that to do that manually, because I have another few other jobs I want to get going. Now we're in September, we've got the 4-day months, and I'm going to be playing on times 10, so need to be being more efficient. So you will also see that the Ford is now over here because I used that to clear bales out of the headland to get them out of the way of Courseplay. Hopefully everything is cleared enough so that nothing is going to be in the way of the John Deere. So I'm going to be using Simple Inspector to try and keep an eye on the John Deere whilst we do other jobs. The first thing we're going to be doing, so you can see down there is a new shed. We'll have a look at that in a moment. I'm going to lease a lime spreader. Now I'm going to use a base game one. This may not be completely era appropriate, but we've got a big field to do. These are not completely inappropriate and working within the limitations of what's sometimes available. So, and I'm going to get Courseplay to do this job. And I have added in a lime silo. So the silo on the farm has the silo fill type, so it will not take lime. But we do have now a silo around the back here that allows us to have lime delivered. So we're going to have 35,000 litres of lime delivered. I doubt that will be enough to do the job. And we're going to go into the Courseplay menu. We're going to clear the course off, and our target position is going to be somewhere here. Our field position will be about there. And we are going to generate course. 1 tool, 3 headlands. We've really got a 24 meter working width. Yes, it has. Let's reset those. Generator 3. 2 headlands is probably enough. Big headland overlap. Generate course. There we go. That's that done. We're going to go into auto drive. We want to be on pick up and deliver. We pick up from default lime station because I've not placed that yet. The field point, we want to be 176 tractor weight. Maybe lime. We're going to press the Courseplay button. First waypoint. And it should hopefully, I haven't tested this addition to the auto drive route. Hopefully it will fill up and then head off. No, okay. That's maybe not what we want. No, that's what we want. So we need to swap those around. It's been a while since I've used this mode of operation. So we want there. We want there. Then the Courseplay button. Background. Hopefully it's going to fill up with lime. Remember, never work with children, animals, or Courseplay and Auto Drive Live. Need to update Courseplay by the looks of it. It's not the latest version, but you know. So there we go. That's filling, which is good. Just keeping an eye on the John Deere as well. Not the quickest fill rate in the world, but I'll probably top this up once the case heads off as well. And the Joker's decided to get up. I'm sat with my 4 dogs. You might have heard him there having a bit of a quick shake. In fact, let's jump out ready. Let's not look at that. Yeah, so this is a mod by I can't remember who. There we go. Let's buy that many litres. Get that full again, and we'll check on that in a moment. Let's head down here. So this shed is part of the Vintage Oaks, and I've just kind of terraformed in, and this is going to be our bale shed. It's got a side roof, and bales don't rot in FS22, so that's fine. I should have undone the straps, and we've got this Volvo wheel loader. This is predominantly going to be for doing our silage work. The John Deere bale accumulator is full, so let's turn off those. And this is not the super slickest process in the world, but you know, we do what we need to do. So just back up a bit, start driving forwards, unload the bales, drop that back down, and then get it going again. And it does take quite a while to actually fill up, and we can just have a quick peek at this guy. Yeah, so I've got the Volvo wheel loader, mostly because we're going to be doing a bit of silage work, and I thought it'd be nice to have a wheel loader to do the work in the clamp. Left the combines in the field there because we've got 2 oat fields there to harvest, so they might as well wait there. And yeah, but actually having the wheel loader is probably going to make doing the bale loading and unloading easier. Well, so yeah. I would have taken it over to the field because picking up 3 Heston bales with the Ford is a bit of a struggle. And yeah, so playing on ×10, because that means a day will last around an hour-ish, which is what I want it to be. We've got 4-day months active now. This video is a bit weird because it spans part of the end of August and the beginning of September. It doesn't look like a 24 meter working width. That looks like a 12 meter working width to me. Yeah. So we're going to have to regenerate the course, which is fine. So let's delete the course, redo that. I was a little bit skeptical. We'll go for 3 headlands. That should give us plenty of room for turning still. Let's get that back up. So Courseplay mode is still active on there. Start points there. off you go. So that course is going to take 2 hours to run. So this is going to be a couple of day job by the time we allow for auto drive and stuff, which is why I wanted to get it going. Which is fine. It's a huge field. In reality, it would take a while to get done. We can speed that up a bit. That might make it a bit quicker. And while Courseplay works on that, got a feeling I've got the Volvo parked. So let's jump into that. Yep, let's unpark it. Hopefully I can attach that to the bale trailer to undo the straps. Yep. And then we can start stacking these, because we need to free up the bale trailers to get the straw bales. A long time since I've used a wheel loader to do anything like this, but I think with the Heston bales we're going to be using it a bit more than I normally would. So yeah, I think it's going to be a kind of a key tool on the farm. It was, I think this was separate DLC? Trying to remember. Can't remember if it was part of one of the bigger DLCs or if it was a bit of bonus DLC kit or if it was a little DLC. But I don't think I've used it before, so it was time to make use of it. And it's, I think it was 70s wheel loader, something like that. So yeah, it came out around the same time as the forestry edition DLC. So, but I'm not sure if it was part of that or not. So you can see there are a mixture of bale sizes there. Guess when I was getting stuff set up, when I was doing the hay baling as well. But this handles the Heston bales very nicely. Yeah. I'm guessing we can go 4 high with these. Probably be just a case of the limit of how high the wheel loader can reach. Yeah. And the limit of my bale stacking skills. Yeah, we're definitely not going to go any higher than that. 4 high is going to be good. And I think what I'll do is I'll stack hay bales one side and straw bales the other. Not intending to do bales of silage. I have got a wrapper, but that will be by exception because from talking to one of the guys in the community who was doing farming in the UK in the 80s, certainly early on, it was quite rare to be wrapping bales for silage. I think he said early on they were using bin liners. So yeah, well, you know, like the equivalent of, so. And certainly wrapping square bales from the research that I did for my Farming Decades series was pretty rare. So if we do any round bale side, if we do any baled silage, it will be round bales. We've got a round bale wrapper. Yeah. So that's the plan for that kind of thing. I did have someone, I don't know if you're still watching. The early videos always get more views than the slightly later ones, saying not to do bales if I was doing lots of cows, but yeah, I obviously I am going to be doing bales. And we're going to need, as I said earlier, once the cows come in, we're going to be feeding them if I stick with 100 head of dairy cows, we're looking at 400,000 litres of food a month, so 100,000 litres a day. Which again is partly why I've got the wheel load up. So that's going to be 30,000 litres of hay, which is going to be what, with the size of these bales, like 4 bales, which is not that bad actually. So yeah, I don't think doing bales is a problem. You know, when I did the Greenland series, if you've been around since then, I had what, 240 dairy cows with Maize Plus. I had a heavily modified TMR mixer, and I did everything. And I baled stuff, but those bales then went into a Casa Farms bale store, which essentially turned it into loose, which we then poured into the TMR mixer. And the reason that I was doing bales was it's more efficient to get them out of the field, particularly if you're not stacking them manually. Oh, we need to head over to the John Deere. Speaking of efficiency, so yeah, you can get a lot more out of a field on a I'm guessing actually we should be going the other way. Let's just get course up. Yeah. You can get a lot more out of a field on a bale trailer as bales than you can in, say, a unmodded loading wagon. And I don't intend to be using any, you know, cheaty style equipment on here. So, well, we managed to get a headland done before the lime spreader ran out. So it's going to take a while to get this field done. It's going to cost a fair bit as well. Let's just check at least that it is registering. Yeah, it's registering that the lime is being applied. So auto drive there takes over, takes it to what we should do is go into that, to the settings, field exit, closest point, apply, because that'll probably save a bit of time. And yeah, now it's off to the lime station. So I'm going to need to keep an eye on the lime station and make sure that that's staying full. Yeah, we'll get this trailer load emptied, and then I think I'm going to just carry on getting these jobs done, and we'll come back when something interesting happens. So in theory, there's about 20 minutes left on the baling, straw baling anyway. The lime is just going to keep running in the background, and getting the straw baling done was the job for today's video. So what we'll do is, actually, I did say I was going to keep the time at ×10, but because I want to make a video out of September 1, I'm actually going to slow it down for this because we're kind of still in the start of the series and getting everything working. Just see the case coming through in the background. Come on. There we go. A bit of trouble getting those bales to let go. Yeah, we'll go with the ×10 once we're in the next video. Can I get those end bales without moving the trailer? Not really. Let's give the trailer a quick shuffle backwards. Hopefully we can do that without too much harm, without strapping the bales. I might get those bales off the field. I might wait until we've done all of the baling of the straw and do it in one go. Because we've got a couple of oat fields to harvest next time. So again, I'll probably do that whilst the case keeps working on getting that lime spread, because there's a good chance that the fields that we need to harvest will need lime. We're probably going to hang on to that lime spreader for a bit, just get ourselves sorted for any lime that we need to do. I'm really liking this Volvo. I think so. It's the next day from when it's actually like a day, almost 24 hours later from when I started recording this first part of this video. I think I said in that I'm really curious as to what people think with that big field, as to whether we should just direct drill the grass in, whether I should mulch it, whether I should cultivate it. We have a big cultivator and a big tractor to cultivate it. So stick a comment below. But yeah, the plan is going to be that we will be running multiple jobs at a time. Because we kind of need to get stuff done, basically. At least early on, where we're getting things set up and accounting for things like, we've got a huge field that needs liming, which is days worth of work. Once things have stabilised, maybe might not need to do that quite so much, but early on, yeah, it's going to be a thing. I might put in some more of those silos for things like fertiliser and stuff. It's a whole pack. That might just make life a little bit easier with quite a big farm. Might just make life a little weird. Oh. Remember, kids, realism is key. Bale physics sometimes sucks. So that's those emptied. Let's just have a quick check on the old John Deere. So it's got not too many rows to go. It's working pretty well. So we'll be back in a bit. I didn't know if you guys were interested in seeing how Courseplay does with the baler, so I just thought I'd grab a little bit of footage of this. It does just fine. The John Deere does great. You obviously saw me running the John Deere on the baler earlier. It's handling everything fine. I see the only thing it can't do is unload the bale accumulator, and I think that's maybe because it's it handles like a bale auto stacker, and there isn't a bale unloading mode in this version of Courseplay. So, and that's fine, it's a slightly unusual bit of kit. I can accommodate that. It runs for long enough that I'm getting other jobs done in between. And yeah, you can see it's got this row plus one more of this land to do, and then I think there's 3 rows of the other land, and it'll be done. And but then I've got a lot of bale stacking to do at some point. I think that's it. Next time, looking at the weather, maybe not. I know we're fine. We can probably get the other fields combined before the rain hits. I'm not too worried about leaving these bales out in a little bit of rain, because bales don't rot in FS22, so that'll be fine. This guy's most of the way around the second headland. Obviously, there's a lot of overlap, so it's not being very efficient. But yeah, works just fine with Courseplay. It's doing a cracking job. So I'm going to get back to stacking bales, and I'll see you towards the end. Auto Drive wanted to head back to the farm because it's a little low on fuel. I'm going to take the risk. Hopefully we don't do a just out Adam and run out of fuel. It is a John Deere, so it might have a fuel leak. If we do, we have a truck, so we can recover it. Yeah, we should be okay. If Auto Drive thought it had enough fuel to get back to the farm to refuel, then I'm pretty sure we are okay to finish this one row of baling and get back to the farm. So yeah, I've got almost all of that the second bale trailer unloaded and stacked. I'm going to finish doing that off camera between videos, and then in the next video we will I'm not going to do any more off camera. In the next video we will be combining those last 2 oak fields, and then we need to get those baled. What I might do is have one combine running and then have the baler following, so we can combine one field and then have it being baled while the other one is being combined. The case will still be working on getting that big field lined, but yeah, that's it for today. So no, let's not do you, let's do you. Let's unload the baler, and then we'll unload you. We need to be moving to do that ideally. There we go. So yeah, quickly say thank you to the patrons and the YouTube channel members. Appreciate you guys supporting the channel. If you've enjoyed the video, click the like button. Any comments, questions or suggestions, apart from the fact that my lime spreader is not from the 80s, stick those below, and I'll see you next time.